Good morning. Look at that full moon. It's heading over the mountains. It's a beautiful Monday morning over here at the Fairgrounds Park in Longmont this morning, getting ready for class. I have my graphic design class this morning. I am eating the breakfast of champions from McDonald's this morning and the coffee of champions. Not sponsored by McDonald's, but if you want to hit me up. We had a beautiful walk this morning here at the park. The moon was setting over the mountains. It was really neat. But today in this video, I just wanted to cover a few tips and rules that I follow to try to stay sane living in this lifestyle. I know that a number of people, and more people, are living in vehicles or having to choose this van life out of necessity, or if you've chosen this van life or car life out of choice to be rent-free and not buy into this economic system that is keeping us poor and impoverished. Either way, these tips are what I live by to help me keep sane and stable. Van life and car living requires a good amount of discipline and responsibility, and that's just two main things that kind of overarch these rules that I live by. It is a matter of stewarding yourself and your resources and your community well. It is the irresponsible vehicle dwellers that give this a bad name and make cities really antagonistic against people who live in our particular circumstance. So I wanted to kind of cover these rules and kind of go over them today as I go through the day and just kind of riff on them, and hopefully you'll find these helpful. Need your belly rubs. Long day at the office. One of the rules that I live by is that you have to remain clean and healthy. Gotta take care of that body of yours. You are a steward of your body. Your body has been granted to you by God, and it is a gift, and so you need to take care of it. Do not neglect proper nutrition and sleep. Go to bed early, get up early, get enough sleep that you can function well without being sleep deprived. Make sure that you're taking any medications you need or supplements. I've gotten off my prescription medications and found equivalent supplements to help me out. So it's a lot cheaper, and I don't have to worry about prescriptions since, healthcare being expensive as well. But Planet Fitness is my go-to, as is many a Nomad out here. The membership that I have is the Black Card that covers any use of any Planet Fitness in the country, and they're everywhere. So I can drop in and get a shower, which I'm going to do this morning. Try to take advantage of that to try to take care of myself here. Eating well, not eating too much junk food, which is a huge temptation on the road because it's easy. Everything in small portions. I eat more frequently through the day, but smaller amounts. And try to stay really active. You have to stay flexible, especially at my age. The van here challenges your joints, and you have to often reach around and get up and get down and crouch and bend and do weird things with your body. So you got to keep flexible. So prioritize flexibility. If you've got a set of exercises like yoga that can keep your body flexible, do it. But take advantage of those things. It is well worth any expense, but it is super expensive if you neglect it. So yeah, take care of yourself. Make sure you're clean, that your clothes are clean, that you don't smell and look like that homeless guy in the corner We get that we get considered homeless by most people, not only because of our lifestyle, literally we don't have a sticks and bricks home, but because we tend to have an attitude that puts us in that category. And your mental attitude, your cleanliness, your respect for the society and others around you, that's the key to making sure that that perception is not a problem or becomes a problem for you. You need to go for a walk? Want to go to the park? Go to the park? Yeah, you want to go? Ready to go? Oh yeah, you're ready to get going, huh? Yeah. Another rule to live by if you have a pet and a dog, especially a dog, you gotta make sure they get their walks every day. Cappy is pretty active. He is needs about 3 to 4 walks, good solid walks per day on a minimum. But he loves the outside. He has to do his sniffs. It keeps him healthy. It keeps him from needing to pee in the van or anywhere else inappropriately. Um, and it keeps him less stressed. He is my emotional support pet, um, my companion. He's also really good alarm system. He has a bark like a fire alarm, but um, we keep him healthy. He keeps me healthy. He keeps me safe and cuddles up and keeps me warm. So definitely my life that does revolve around a lot of his needs, and that's good for your mental well-being too because it develops empathy. If you've never had a pet before, but if you do have had a pet, you know that they really develop a sense of empathy in you and help keep you rooted and grounded to have something and someone to care for and to nurture. And so much of my daily schedule revolves around keeping good watch over this little guy and making sure he's healthy. Um, so walking multiple times a day, wherever we can, finding parks, making sure that he's got treats on hand and everything he needs to be happy and safe. That does limit my employment opportunities because, especially in the summer, if I have to be out of the van for 4 to 8 hours in a day, he can't stay in there all day. I have to board him or have someone watch him for me, which right now I don't have that option. So, I work remote a lot, especially in the summer, and it lets me keep in the van and keep him healthy. Um, Other couple notes here. Please clean up after your dog. I'm amazed at how few people do that sometimes. And if you have a dog in public spaces, do not, for the love of Xenu, let him run off leash. I mean, if you're on BLM land and that no one's around, that's one thing. If you're in a public space and in parks, your dog may be the friendliest, cuddliest little muffin that you've ever known, but my dog doesn't necessarily know that. And you just don't know how he's going to react to someone coming up on you unexpected. He's very protective of me. So, you know, Chihuahuas can be a little bit uh, unpredictable sometimes too, depending on your breed. But just don't let him run off leash. Have a leash that he can run and explore, like this extendable one I use. It's got a 16-foot reach, so he feels like he can run freely and sniff around and explore. I can control him. I can keep him away from things that are dangerous or keep him close if I need to. You know, Even the best trained dog, things can go south on you pretty quick if my dog is unsure about your dog. So just don't. Please, just don't let him run off leash in public spaces. I got a real nice view of the mountains today from this park, Vantage Point. Another great bird watching area, this little wetlands. A lot of blackbirds hang out here. Love this spot. We also have frogs at certain times of the year. It's pretty though when it's iced over. One more little rule that I try to live by is to not do more than one major life or van chore in a day. It's not always possible. Like today, I had to get a shower before class, and then now I have to go get some packages and pick them up at the mail. But as much as I can arrange it, don't do more than one of those chores, like doing your laundry or going to the grocery store or refilling water or emptying gray water tanks or things like that in a day, when especially when I have a work day. It becomes a very busy day. So super excited. I got more packages than I thought I was going to get today. I think the sample shirts and designs that I got from my Graphic Manpower apparel store came in too. So I'm real excited to unpack those in a little bit and see how they turned out. Those t-shirt designs are available at graphicmanpower.com. So just a little plug for my online store where I sell some of my graphic design work on t-shirts. So Captain Caveman Apparel. So yes, it is graphicmanpower.com. And I'm just eager to see how they turned out. We've got to go over here to Whole Paycheck. Whole Foods, to drop off a Amazon return. Maybe pick up a little lunch if I can figure out something more healthy to eat today. Another little rule that I live by. If you live with a dog in a van, make sure that everything you eat is shareable and safe. You will share. So you're going to live in close quarters. You're going to share your food. It's just part of the deal, isn't it, buddy? Yeah. Chihuahuas would eat frequently and in small bits throughout the day to keep their metabolism up. They're pretty high maintenance in terms of needing a fair amount of food throughout the day, but not in one big meal. Keep plenty of treats around. Again, dogs appreciate bribery. They respect bribery. These work. Keep some behaviors under control too. But he'll have a nice meat snack after a couple tidbits from my lunch. That was little chicken bits, and he'll be satisfied. He'll sleep for a little bit this afternoon, probably while I teach. Totally not kidding about that whole paycheck thing. Chicken wrap and a drink, almost $14. Yeah, whole paycheck earns its reputation. Another rule to live by: if you drink alcohol, never have an open container in your vehicle. Never drink in your vehicle, even when parked. You will get slapped with a DUI, and your vehicle will get impounded, and or you'll lose your license, and or your life will be destroyed very quickly by a police officer nailing you with DUI. You don't have to be driving. The car doesn't have to be on. The keys don't have to be in your pocket. If you're in your vehicle, parked anywhere, and a police officer sees you drinking alcohol in your vehicle, you will get nailed for it. Same thing goes for pot use. This is Colorado, not Rocky Mountain High and all that. Couple things there. If you smoke marijuana, know that I and everyone else can smell you from 200 feet away, and you smell like a skunk. Okay. And you may not smell it on you when you're doing it because your nose, after a few minutes, will turn the smell off. you'll become nose blind. But everyone else can sense it. Everyone else can sense it when you do it in your vehicle. Your vehicle will be smellable from 200 feet away at least. Okay. Um, and you will attract all the wrong kinds of attention. You will attract law enforcement to your vehicle, and they will suspect, often case rightfully so, that there are other substances in your vehicle that you shouldn't have. So you do not want that. It is not worth it. If you have a problem with drinking or using drugs, any substances at all, any substance abuse problems, get help. This van life or car living as a choice, uh, even if you're forced into it, it requires responsibility, good judgment, and discipline. And I have yet to meet an addict in the throes of their addiction that has either good judgment, responsibility, or discipline. Drugs and alcohol take that away from you. If you have a problem with that, seek out help, find a sober living environment, find a support system, get clean, stay sober before you even think about this. It's not worth it. Get help. Never, ever, ever use in your vehicle. If you're on BLM land and camping somewhere far away, same rule applies. If you drink beer or something when you're camping, a lot of people do it out in the camp, outside your vehicle, never in the vehicle. It's just not worth it. Another little tip for this lifestyle: everything you do takes more time than you think it's going to. So give yourself lots of margin in your schedule. Arrive early when you need to be places, and you'll be a lot more sane and less frantic. Everything just takes so much more time. Another helpful tip, if you happen to be a little narrow spicy like me, especially, but for anyone, establish a sense of routine. Keep your routines fairly consistent throughout the week, and you'll be able to organize your life a lot better in van life, especially since things take so much longer than you think it's going to. Those routines really come in handy. Let's talk about parking. There's one other rule that I live by, and that is that stealth parking is a myth. You are not stealth. Your van or your car, if you live in it full time, has enough indicators to anyone looking that you are sleeping in your vehicle and that you are living in your vehicle. Especially if you have a van like mine where there's solar panels and other things that you can spot if you look closely enough. You aren't fooling anybody. Law enforcement knows. I know. Other people looking at you know. So I don't worry about the concept of stealth parking. My rule is that I think more about being a guest in the neighborhood. Now, I'm not a guest. I've been living here in Loveland for 23 years, and I've been living in my van for 3 of them. But at the same time, I treat it as if I'm a guest. I make sure my rig looks okay. I make sure there's no real big flaws in my appearance. I don't travel around with all my gear hanging out the back or the stuff up on the roof, draw attention to themselves and look like Jed Clampett. Hey, John from the future here. I realize that for you young whippersnappers, the youngins, that I'm using references like Jed Clampett and the Oklahoma Dust Bowl that you may not get. Google it. You have one of them newfangled smartphones, I'm assuming. This isn't the Dust Bowl of Oklahoma, although for some of us it might feel that way sometimes. We are nomads living in our vehicles, and we need to stay fairly unobtrusive, innocuous, innocent, but not, but get rid of the idea that you could somehow hide. Hiding as a mindset creates a lot of stress, and generally speaking, parking is very stressful in a city, especially a city whose attitudes have shifted to where they just don't want you around. They don't want to see you. They certainly don't want people sleeping in their vehicles because it makes their city look bad, as if it were somehow unaffordable, even though it is. The reality is that we want to stay as unobtrusive as possible. Treat it like we're guests there. We don't put out our camping gear. We don't turn on loud generators. We go into our vehicles at night after we park, and we stay in the vehicle. We close up shop. We hunker down. We read a book. We do whatever we need to do quietly until early morning when we're gone before sunup. I don't park in front of people's houses. I don't park in front of a school. I pay attention to where the school bus stops are in the morning, so I'm not near children in the morning to raise any alarms from parents. I make sure that I'm not parked at a park or after dark, or before sunup. I don't draw that kind of attention to myself by my behavior, and that's where a lot of nomads get into trouble. They don't necessarily get into trouble because of their rig, although some rigs do definitely draw that attention. They draw unwanted attention through their behavior and how they are in the neighborhood and their suspicious behavior. Don't hang around, don't use more than the same spot twice in a row. Rotate your spots, try to be somewhat random about it. Don't be so predictable that people know that on every Tuesday that van is here, or on Wednesday nights this person's always here. They start seeing a pattern, and it arouses suspicions. So that's my tip for parking. So I'm gonna leave this video here for today. Thanks for watching. Hey, great news. The Captain Caveman shirts came in. I got my Captain Caveman here. I also have a Chihuahua shirt. I also have the Chihuahua shirts and many other designs up on graphicmanpower.com. So check those out. But yeah, I'm rocking the Captain Caveman shirt today. I love this one. This is so much fun. I hope you enjoy these little tips and rules for living in the van life. And meant to help you. There's things that really help me. So I hope that you find them useful. And if you do, make sure you give me a thumbs up, like, and subscribe, and maybe share it with a friend or something. Or make a comment if you have your own tips. I'd love to hear them. Anyway, have a great day today. God bless. Bye-bye.